Right now, though, we're going to be flicking through the headlines with Diptyque Laurent, who's been doing all the hard work for us. Hello there.
Hi, Kat.
We're going to be starting off with something that's going to make taxpayers here in France pretty happy. The government is planning to lower taxes.
That's right. So one time that I'm really happy to talk about taxes when the government is planning to make it easier, at least in part. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe announced last week that planned tax reforms would take place in 2019. Well, Le Figaro, the right-leaning paper, says on its front page that Emmanuel Macron has announced that these reforms will actually be effective from next year. The government plans to lower taxes for those with a personal fortune of over 1.3 million euros, but 80% of households will also be exonerated of residency taxes. It's going to cost the government a lot, though. Le Figaro says that just lowering taxes for personal fortunes will cost the French state 3 billion euros. Ultimately, this means that the government is going to have to tighten its belt, as Le Figaro says on its front page. It'll need to save about 4.5 billion euros in order to finance its tax reforms. The public accounts minister or budget minister, Gérald Darmanin, tells Le Parisien that the savings will come from various departments like the Interior Ministry, the Department of Defense, Culture and Education, but he says there'll be no job cuts.
And apparently these measures aren't just about making taxpayers happy.
Well, not according to Les Echos, the French business paper, which says that Macron is not one to overlook just how dearly previous presidents have paid for tax reforms. Remember that François Hollande famously wanted to tax the highest earning French workers at 75%. Les Echos says that Macron is learning from the mistakes of his predecessors, hence the reason why he wanted to bring up these tax reforms, which in appearance at least will appear to ease the tax burden of many households and help him at the same time stay in favor with public opinion.
All right. Well, there are some people who are out of favour, perhaps not so much with public opinion, but with some political opinion, going to be in the spotlight a bit later on. One of the former dominant political parties here in France, Les Républicains, is holding a very important meeting.
That's right. And that meeting, Le Parisien says, will serve in part to decide on the futures of conservative members who have joined Emmanuel Macron's government. People like Edouard Philippe, but also the budget minister, Gérald Darmanin. Le Parisien says officials will decide on whether or not these members will be formally excluded from the party or if they'll be simply sanctioned. For his part, Edouard Philippe says he's not attending this meeting because, I quote his entourage, which said, he's kind of got other things to do at the moment, like run the country.
Pretty much saying talk to the hand, really.
That's right.
Interesting to see what comes out of that meeting. We're going to stay with Le Figaro, reporting on a secret rendezvous or a secret meeting between Nicolas Sarkozy and Emmanuel Macron. Rendezvous doesn't quite have the same connotations in French, we ought to say.
It was a cozy dinner date, if you like, between Emmanuel Macron and Nicolas Sarkozy and their respective spouses, Brigitte and Carla, who were meeting at the Elysée for a dinner last week. It was a, quote, joyous and relaxed event, Le Figaro says, and rather normal occurrence since Emmanuel Macron and Nicolas Sarkozy do keep in touch regularly. They were present at the football final of the Coupe de France at the end of May. But unfortunately, I don't have any juicy details to tell you. I don't even know what they ate because nobody really knows. It was actually a secret dinner that wasn't even meant to be spilled out to the press. But anyway, it has been. One person cited in Le Figaro said, Macron has the intelligence not to underestimate Sarkozy's experience. As things go in politics, you never know who you'll need by your side in times of crisis.
Indeed, Emmanuel Macron trying to straddle both the left and the right, drawing on from experience from everyone. Very interesting indeed. The French president currently, though, in Lausanne, being very public about everything that he's doing over there. No secret dinners, I don't think. He's supporting Paris's bid for the 2024 Olympics.
That's right. And the big question is, do we really want the Games? That's what Libération, the left-leaning paper, asks on its front page. The IOC could decide today if they'll be announcing two Olympic host cities, the two frontrunners, Paris and LA, for 2024 and 2028, the 2028 Games. That decision will come on September the 13th. For Libé, it's really not a question of if, but when. What's interesting is in Le Figaro, a former former Olympic champion, tells the paper that Paris needs to ensure that it gets the 2024 Games, because coming second in this would be tantamount to a defeat, given that a 2024 bid would coincide with the 100 years since Paris last hosted the Games.
And finally, the summer vacation is upon us here in France. Many poorer families unable to go away for even a week or so. One charity, though, trying to fix that for them.
That's right. L'Humanité, the communist paper, is talking about this on its front page. That charity is Secours Populaire, a French NGO, who are sending around 100 kids from low-income families on a holiday. They left yesterday. They'll be heading to Switzerland for 2, quote, long and beautiful weeks. L'Humanité reminds us that 1 in 2 French people can't afford vacations. Thanks to Secours Populaire, 185,000 people were able to take a holiday last year.
Oh, well, bon voyage to all of them. Happy holidays. Thanks very much, Laurent. Back later on, looking through the international papers.